Alrighty guys, I'm Casey and welcome to a brand new episode of our modded survival world. Boy, this world is starting to really feel immersive as we're walking through. I love it that we're adding more and more buildings to it. This bit is a little bit rough over here, but last episode we set up this here. This is our power plant. We are generating some RF per tick. As you can see, this is like all kind of filling up nicely. We've got lava automatically coming into here. It's brilliant. But now we've got this power, we can actually start doing stuff with this power. So, that brings me into what I want to set up today. Today, what I want to set up is a Enderman Farm. We are going to need Enderman and Ender pearls predominantly to do a lot of things in modern Minecraft. So, an Enderman Farm is something that I want to get into, and now that we've got power, we can get into that. But before we can do that, guys, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to like the video, hit subscribe, ring that bell, and you can also follow me on social media. All those links are down below. And without any further ado, let's get into the episode. So the first thing that I want to tackle in today's episode is upgrading our jetpack once more. I meant to do this last episode, but time got away from me, and by the end of the episode, I just completely forgot. I'll be straight up, I forgot. So, the next upgrade is this reinforced jetpack. Now, to do this, we need something called Electrum, and I don't remember if I've actually covered this, but it's fairly easy. Just grab your induction smelter, your alloy smelter, or even your tinker smeltery. Anything that mixes ores will do, and it's just an even mixture of silver and gold. So now that I've got the Electrum, we can actually start process on this. We won't be able to get all of the way in one clip, but we'll be able to get a significant way. So, first thing first, we need this redstone flux capacitor, which is the hardened flux capacitor, which we've already made before we had to make this for the previous incarnation of it. So all we got to do is just craft that up like so. Boom, there's the reinforced one. Next, what we need is these reinforced thrusters, and this is where things get a little bit more difficult, because you see, first of all, we need a magmatic dynamo. That's fine, we've got that. Next, what we need is destabilized redstone bucket, and this is where it gets a little bit more complex, because we need to make some destabilized redstone. So I'm going to grab a redstone block. We have all of the machines that we need to do this. We need the magma crucible, which I can always never remember. Is it it's this one? Nope, it's this one. And we throw in the block of redstone there. That'll smelt down and make us destabilized redstone. Now this might throw it into the okay, we don't even have enough there. Looks like I need one more. So one piece is 100. Okay. Now the question is, can I just bucket this out? No. I think I need to move it into here. So if we just tell you to... Yeah, you're going to pull from there, and then I can just throw the bucket in there. The bucket will fill up. There's our destabilized redstone. Great. We've got that one. The next thing that we need is these reinforced energy ducts. We actually need 2 buckets of destabilized redstone, but I'll get that in a minute. To get these, we need to use destabilized redstone, 200 mullet buckets of, on these redstone energy fluid ducts that are empty. To get these, we need 2 electrum and 1 hardened glass. Now, you can use a different thing. You can use fused quartz. Fused quartz is honestly probably easier to get. You just need some quartz from the nether. But I'm going to use hardened glass, just because it's what I've got readily available. For hardened glass, I need obsidian and glass. But you actually need obsidian powder. So I've got to throw this into the pulverizer and pulverize it up. Once we've got the pulverized obsidian, I think it's just a case of throwing it into the alloy smelter. Is it not? Let me work this out. So I was doing this off at the top of my head. I could have sworn it was glass, you know, with it being hardened glass. But it's actually lead that we need. Oh, small mistake. But there we go. We're going to get a hardened glass now, which is great. Which means we can go ahead and craft up a set of these. We're only going to craft up 6. We don't need any more. And I've already got ahead and got some destabilized redstone already smelted down. So I'm going to just throw these in here, and then that's going to fill them up for us. I'm hoping that I've managed to do exactly enough. I've got that perfectly right. So now we can finish up crafting up this jetpack. We only need these. Is it going to let me do this straight off the bat, or is it going to make me input everything? It's going to make me input everything. And with the power of editing, that was not as difficult as I thought it would be. Now we should be able to just... Oh, actually, I need to take off my jetpack. Where's my jetpack? Did I put it in? I put it in here. Okay. So now we should be able to just simply up... Can I... What am I missing? I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. And I've got you. Am I missing something that I just did not see? No, I've just put it in the wrong configuration. It's actually like that. There we go. Why are you so complex? Now, I want to show you one thing that you can do with the jetpack. We've been charging it using the energetic infuser, which you can. It'll charge it quickly as well. But another thing that you can do is you can actually throw it into one of these capacitor banks, and this just charges it a lot quicker. Well, I don't think it really charges it any quicker. It just depends on the input and the output. But this means I could drain from this power source rather than draining from the one that's running our base. And this reinforced jetpack is going to be so much better for us. Would you look at that? It's faster, and the hover and the sort of like the downgrade from the other, or the down boost. I'm struggling for words here. But yeah, the de-elevation, the descension, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Is a lot less than this. It's going to make it much, much easier to build. Now, there is another jetpack a little bit better than this one. This resonant jetpack. But to get into this, we actually need endinium, which requires ender pearls, and this blazing pyrotheum dust, which all of this we've actually got access to here, but it's just these ender pearls. And I don't really feel like going and slaughtering enderman, and we're building an Enderman Farm in this episode, so I'm just going to leave that jetpack until the next episode. But now what I need to do is I need to figure out where I'm going to put this Ender Farm. It's going to go over here somewhere, which means I need to cut this back and sort of work on a little bit of some path here. And I don't know, do we start going down here? I don't know, I think so. And this is what I came up with in the end. I've so far brought the path mediocrely across. But we've got this sort of like cliff face that comes down here. First of all, it starts at a very curvy point like we've been having over there, but then transitions more into a man-made. Now, my original idea was to have an Enderman tower. But I'm looking around. We got tower, we got tower, we got tower. We've got a lot of towers. So I think what I want to do here is make it like a house structure. This is a shape of it. This is going to be the Enderman Farm. And I've got a really cool idea for something that I want to do. But I don't know if it's going to work or not. It might end up backfiring on me. But my first sort of task is to decide sort of like how this is going to go. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this building out of wood here on the front. And this one out of the sort of black stone that we're going here, the basalt. And that's what we've been doing everywhere else, mixing up the basalt. Apart from the windmills, but windmills need to be white. So I think... Oh, this Enderman can vanish. Mind you, there was a time that I thought I saw Slenderman in real life. There's a video on my channel if you want to check that out. I'm trying to push that video. It's a really funny story. A really terrifying one as well. But it looks like this Enderman's just gone. Like, he disappeared and isn't coming back. Anyway, let me get some work done on this building here. So, if you're planning out a build, one of the things that I like to do is get a plan for what that build is going to look like in my head. And I do this by setting out some sort of wireframe. As you can see, this is going to be the build in here. And I can get a feeling for how it's going to feel as I'm walking through here. We're getting a sneak peek of it. There's a nice little tower to break up the roof. And I do quite like it. It looks really good. And it's not even fully done yet. But I've got this idea. I didn't like the fact that I was going to have 3 solid walls. So I've decided to add in another section right here. I may do something on these 2 sections, or I may just leave them fairly plain. I'm not entirely certain yet. But my main task now is to bring this up and fill in the missing pieces. Oh, I do love the builder's wand. It made this thing so much easier. It even works with the roof and the stairs. Man, I got this thing done in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Now, it doesn't look pretty on the outside, and I'm not going to worry too much about making it look pretty on the outside right now. I want to actually make it more effective, and the main reason I'm going to do that is I like to build first, then do the farm, but I'm trying to mix it up in these episodes. I hope that's showing. So sometimes we do a little bit of building at the beginning of the episode, then we do the farm. Other times we do the farm, then we do the building. But the main reason that I'm going to leave the building to last on this one is so the farm can be running while I'm doing it. And then that way we are getting the drops and building up that stockpile of ender pearls, because we are going to need quite a lot in the coming future. But now we need to figure about how we are going to wire this thing up and how it is going to function. So when it comes to spawners, we do have a couple of options in the pack. There's the spawner from RF Tools, there's the spawner from Mine Factory Reloaded, but my personal favorite, just because you don't have to give it anything other than power, is these ones here from Ender IO. Now, this one just says Enderman, this one says chicken, and the other one just says empty. I've made spawners with pretty much any mob in the game, so don't worry, it doesn't have to actually say the mob for it to actually be a spawner of that mob. All it is what spawner you combine with the powered spawner. So you make the empty powered spawner here. You put this in an anvil with a broken spawner, and then whatever that broken spawner is, it will turn into a powered spawner of that type. So we need to get, first of all, is a broken Enderman spawner. Now, some mod packs will have Enderman spawners in the world. Some will not. Our one, it does not. So I need to make a broken Enderman spawner. And how do I do this? Well, I need to combine a Enderman soul with a spawner. As you can see here, whatever is in the soul vial combined with whatever the broken spawner is will make a broken spawner of whatever is in the soul vial. Just give me a moment. Let's close this door just so the zombies don't get me. Now, I'm not making it day because I do need to go and hunt down an Enderman. So we need to make this soul vial, which is Solarium. And Solarium, if I remember correctly, is, we've made this before, I know we have, gold and soul sand. Do I have any left over? No, so I need to make some of that up. But the new thing here is this fused quartz. Now, this is made very simply. All you need is nether quartz, and you put this in your sag mill, in your alloy smelter, and it should alloy up. I think it takes 4 per fused quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said we needed 3, so we've just got to wait for those to smelt up. Now that we've got 1 solarium and these 3 fused quartz, we can make the soul vial. Now I just need to go and track down an Enderman. I'm out here looking for me Enderman. Having a little bit of problem, but I found this biome. I've never seen this before. What is this? Giant flower stem. Can I harvest you? I can. Can I do anything with you? A giant flower stem. What do you do? Looks like it's just a really pretty block, but it's also a substitute for wood, it would seem. Huh. I mean, hardened cash wood. Be used as fuel. I mean, you can transfer it into living wood, but you can. Okay, so it's literally just a substitute for wood. Anyway, back to the Enderman. So I found one. It's taken all night, but all you gotta do is approach it, shift right click, boom. It's in the soul vial. Now, on to our next task of finding a spawner. Now, when it comes to spawners, the hardest bit by far is finding a spawner. Now, normally you go around, you look through caves, and you'll stumble across one. Some packs do have items that do allow you to find it. Unfortunately, I can't find an item in this pack, and I don't know any off the top of my head. So we have to do this the old-fashioned way, and there's a couple of ways that we can approach this. First of all, where do we know mob spawners are? Now, some worlds will have dungeons that will have quite a lot of spawners in it. You might get like mineshaft dungeons, all sorts, and you'll get quite a few spawners in it. They're usually not that difficult to find. But if you're struggling, remember, there's going to be a nether fortress in the nether, and it's likely there's going to be more than one blaze spawner there, so just nab one of them. It doesn't have to be an Enderman spawner. It can be any spawner. For me, I think there's something else in this pack that might hold a spawner. That being one of these trees here. I think this is great wood, if memory serves correctly. Yeah, great wood. But there's some of these that have spider webs on them. And if I remember correctly, underneath there's a spider web spawner or spider spawner. I'm sure there is. This one's got it on it. So we'll chop it down and see if there is one underneath it. This is if memory serves correctly. Yes, it does. Much easier to find it, and it doesn't have to be an Enderman spawner. It can literally be one of these. It's fine. We'll collect all this wood. So now that we're back, we can find our soul binder. We can throw in the broken spawner, the Enderman spawner, and there's one more thing that you are going to need. You are going to need levels. Now, you can do this to use player XP, or you can have levels automatically fed into this machine. Since we don't have anything set up like that, we'll just use our player levels. Just click this. It's going to take 15 levels worth of XP from us, and it's going to start doing this. Now, the reason that I've done this first and not built the powered spawner and then gone for it is because this does take a while. Look how slow this is. You can put a capacitor in there to make it a bit faster, but this will be fine. This will be fine. So this thing is still doing up, but the next thing that we are going to need, that we might as well get doing up now, comes in the form of the powered spawner itself. We need what's called a Z logic controller. It's the main thing that we're missing. I do need another ender pearl to make another vibrant crystal, but I'll go and hunt that down while this is doing. But this requires us using the slicer splice. This is something relatively new. We need celerium, we need a silicon, we need redstone, and a zombie head for this. And I've got pretty much everything that we need. So we just come into here, throw in the machine. It's best just to shift and left click this in, just to let it all go in itself. It'll put it in the right place. This does not take anywhere near as long as the soul binder does. And this thing uses an enormous amount of power. So I'm struggling for power as is on this thing right now. Mainly because this is eating it all up at the minute. Which I would really like to stop. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell it to, you know, disable. So once it's smelted this cobblestone, it'll do no more. I've got some energetic alloy made up. So now what I need to do is go and kill some Endermen. Got me Z-Logic controller now. And I've also managed to make up the vibrant crystals. I went and killed some Endermen. It was good. We got another Enderman head. I also found this cord grass, which we're going to be using in a bit. We don't need this for the farm. No. This is something else that I just want. But now I think we've got everything. Did I make up the electric steel? I remember I made up 2. I could have sworn that I made up some electric steel. I could have sworn I did. Yes, I thought I did. Okay, so we've got the electric steel. We just need one of these machine chassis, which is a basic capacitor, some iron, and some iron fences. Do I not have any basic capacitors made up? I know I've got some iron fences. Looks like we have some over here in the cave. I thought I had some. I knew I'd seen some somewhere in a chest. So now we should have everything that we need to make up this powered spawner, like so. There's just one more thing that we need. We need to make this powered spawn. If you can see, it says empty right there. We need to make this into an Enderman spawner. And that's very, very easy to do. All we need is, if I can remember how to make an anvil. Yes, I can. We need an anvil, which we can plug this anvil back down there. That's fine. Now what we need is we need our spawner from here. Oh, you get your soul vial back, by the way. It's just like when you use a bucket for a recipe. You put the powered spawner in. You put that in. It looks like I need 30 levels to do this. Don't worry if you get this sort of like duplication glitch. It'll fix itself after a little bit. It's just a visual glitch. Now, if you need some XP, you can obviously kill mobs, or you can use this solidified experience. I think I've got some more laying around here somewhere. Alternatively, you can use these concentrated essences. They work just like bottles of enchanting, and there we have 30 levels. So now with 30 levels, we go ahead and make up this powered spawn. And now we've got the way the Endermen are going to spawn. Next, we need to look at how we are going to kill them. And to kill them, I'm going to use the exact same method that I've used in the Blaze Farm. If we come in the Blaze Farm, you can see we've got this grinder set up here. So I need to go and hook up a grinder, or at least craft up one. So I've got the grinder made up. I've got some of these conveyor belts because we're going to need it. But there's one more thing that I'm going to need, and it's an HV capacitor. Not an LV one like we've been using. I'm jumping to this HV1, which is a lead block and some redstone. It costs some steel. I do believe I forgot to grab my steel, though. I was about to say I do believe I've got everything. But of course, YouTubers luck strikes. There it is. Now we are ready to put this in place. So this is where we are going to put the Enderman Farm. And it's going to run very, very simply. It's going to run off of this powered spawner. So, you put the powered spawner down in the middle of the room. I'm just going to stick an energy conduit right there, just to make it easier to place it on. It doesn't really matter which orientation this is in, whichever orientation it is in, it's still going to spawn them all around it. It spawns like a regular spawner in terms of spawning distance up to 4 away. You can put a capacitor in here. You can also have it to either spawn or capture. With capture, you put your soul vial in. It will automatically capture the soul of that mob. We want it to spawn. We always want this to be active. You can configure it to push them out of the front if you want, but it doesn't seem to really be all that effective if you ask me. But that's pretty much it for the spawner. The next thing we want to do is hook up this grinder. But to do that, I need to bring this energy conduit a little bit further over, just to make placing it a little bit easier and to save me having to run this up later on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring that up there. We're going to bring it across here, and then we'll leave it there for now. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. And this always places so that the grinder is facing you. No, it doesn't. I have my crescent hammer, though. This is what I love about this. We can just turn this. Good, good, good. Now what we need to do is we need to hook this thing up to power. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a chest. I found a skystone chest. And I'm going to just pop it behind it so you can import to here. We are going to get into some more storage in a moment, but I need some ender pearls for the storage. So I figured we'd let this farm run just a little bit. But anyway, we need to look at power. And because we're sticking with immersive engineering power cables, these ones going all around, what we're going to do is we're going to hook up a HV wire capacitor right here. And we need to connect it to this right here. So I'm going to pop a hole in the back right there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up an energy conduit like so. And then I'm going to put in another one of those HV wire capacitors on there. So now that we've got this hooked up to the back end right here, I've got these poles in place. I'm not sure if these are going to be the final placement for these poles. We may move them around as we move the base around. But I do need to transfer the power over here, and I do want to use these. Now, we can't use the coils that we've used before. They just won't transfer enough power. So we need to use HV wire coils, which require these HV wire connectors. But if I remember these HV wire connectors, I don't think you can connect multiple wires to one line. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to find that when we connect this one to this one, it'll work. But then we cannot attach this one to this one, look. So we need something that's going to relay this for us. And for that, we need what's called a relay, which is this thing right here. It costs 3 iron. We get 8, so that's fine. But it requires this insulating glass. And this is where things get a little bit problematic. We need some pulverized iron and some glass. That's not a big deal. But it's this green dye that's the problem. Now, I did come across this while I was out, this corded grass. I've been looking for a desert. I have explored, oh, you can't see while I'm inside. Let me go outside. If I go outside, you can see I've done a bit of exploring. I went out as far this way as the jetpack would take me, and as far this way, and I kind of looped around, and I still have not been able to find a desert. You can even see, look, I've been quite far out this way. Did find a ice biome, though. But this corded grass does actually make green dye, which is good. There's a biome full of this. But this is also a too tall plant, and I wanted to see if bone meal worked on it. Well, it was a too tall plant when I did it. So does it work? No, it can grow up to 2, but it doesn't work. We've got 13 of these. Do we get like more back? No. So we're going to have to make our green dye last us. I'm going to try these in the pulverizer real quick. See if it gives us more. No, it does not. What about the sag mill? Does the sag mill work? No, so it looks like the only way to get green dye is like this. That's fine. There's a bunch of this within the biome. Next, we need to make up this insulating glass, which I need some pulverized iron, which I don't actually have. So I've got to make some of that up real quick. Now with that made up, we should be able to make up this right here. We need 4 of these insulating glass, right? Yes. And then we get rid of those. I don't know why sometimes it carries them over, but now we've got these wire relays. We should be able to run this cable from one end to the other. First things first though, let's actually make this look at least somewhat how I want it to look. Let's have it going, I think out the back end would be nice. We could pop this on here like so. So one minor thing that I've just figured out about these that I didn't know previously, they can't actually go on top. They need to go underneath like this. But we should now be able to connect up our wires from here. What do you mean one of the connection points is invalid? From there to there. Good, good, good. And then we should be able to just connect these up like so, providing nothing is interrupting the connection, which it doesn't seem that it is. YouTuber's curse strikes again. Linking from there to there. Good, good, good. And now we should see that this is getting power. Nope, that's probably because it's on the wrong side. Nope. Now you're getting power. Great. Now what we need to do is hook this up to the Enderman Farm. Now I have gone ahead and hooked up a drum to extract the fluid from this stuff. And I do want to put the storage over on this side, I think. But we need to connect the power. And this is going to be used by doing this capacitor bank right here as like a little bit of an energy buffer. But before I do that, this grinder is not going to be big enough to take out everything in this space. So much like we did with the Blaze Farm, we actually need to push the Enderman this way. So I'm going to pop one on there, and that should push them. If we land on it, yeah, I should push them this way. So that's pretty much what we need to do, is just go ahead and push the Enderman this way. Now, the light level doesn't matter inside. The floor is entirely covered. We're going to pop this in and hope this works. We might need to set this to actually let the stuff come out of it. Great. Now, this might not be getting anything, but it might just be simply charging up that. But we should see Enderman spawn in relatively soon. Here it is. Here it is. The Enderman is being pushed towards us. And the grinder is dealing with him for us. Fantastic stuff. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Well, guys, that is going to do it for this episode. There are some teething problems that we do need to sort out. One, the power is not enough. We need more power, so we need more magnetic dynamos. But that's all for the next episode. This is operational enough to get us to a point where we can make them a little bit more easily and a little bit more better for ourselves. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave it a like and hit subscribe. You can find a link to the playlist that will contain all the episodes from my modded adventure down below, along with links to all of my social media where I put out unique information every day. So guys, that is going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, leave it a like and hit subscribe. You can find a playlist down below where it'll link you to all of the episodes from this series if you want to watch the series grow. But guys, I'm Casey, you're the awesome folk. Thanks so much for watching. Take care now. Bye. Follow me on social media.